Totes Talk, the Ringwald Show. Totes Talk with Suzie and Joe. Totes Talk.
All right, welcome.
Hello.
With our very special guest, Jaime Moyer.
Yay!
All
My
the way
friends.
from Los Angeles.
Yes.
Thanks
My
for
friends. Oh, thank you for having me, my two dear friends. It's so nice to see you.
It's lovely to see you.
How is it out there?
How about if we just do this every day and you just record it once a week?
I think there'll be a market for it.
Amongst ourselves. It's fine. It's fine. It's hot. It's quarantine chic. It's mask and face shield to the store only kind of living in my house. But that's okay. Well, you know, guys, guess what, chicken butt? We're going to get through this. It's super weird and I hate it, but I think that we're going to get through it. It will become a distant and terrible memory, I feel, in about one more year.
From your lips.
Right.
What have you been doing to entertain yourself while you've been quarantined?
Well, it's funny. I don't get bored. So I always have a million things I need to be doing, and the sheer thought of doing them propels me into another arena of procrastination, which leads to, like, I deserve to watch a movie. And so it's like barely anything is getting done every day, and I'm never like, I need to be doing something. So, I mean, I always am thinking I need to be doing something. So that part of it has been okay. I've never not left. I'm always on the go, and I never am home. So I guess maybe the first part of it felt a little bit like a vacation, except for the terror, right? And then the fact that I have so many things I need to get done, like Sean Hanlon, who you guys both know, he drove a truck across country with Andy of a bunch of boxes that I had left in his basement, and help move some of my stepfather's drums here. Wow. So I rented the truck. They drove it. I've only recently started going through those boxes, and this was in November. So that's what I'm saying. There's work to be done. In summation, there's work to be done. So, I've been doing projects, and of course watching the programs, and I've been trying to read and just trying to keep calm and not freak out.
Do you live on your own, or do you live with people?
I live with people, thank God, okay. And we're all in the same mindset of sequester, and nobody's doing anything crazy. The most that we've had is a few people have visited in the yard only, and we've held 6 feet at those meetings, so that's been good. But I don't know, it's just icky, as you guys well know. I'm sure you guys are probably the same as me, right? Is it just like projects and watching stuff, right?
It's a lot of watching stuff.
Yeah.
Now, we just moved into this house in December.
Oh, so, wow. So you must have had boxes too, yeah?
Did, and still do, because when we first were on lockdown, I was like, oh, this is the perfect time. There's really just one room that's my stuff. Well, two. That I was like, I'm going to get to that because now I have time, and it still is not gotten to yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so much to be done. So in that regard, I'm keeping busy. I think if I had Marie Kondo'd a year ago, that would have been so bad. So I'm really glad I didn't do that then.
What are you watching?
Okay, so right now, Babysitter's Club.
Oh my God, I just finished it yesterday.
I love it so much.
It's so good.
Babysitter's Club, it's wonderful. And you guys know Mark, I'm sure. He's so good in it. Oh my God, he's so cute as Mr. Yes.
Well, I enjoy it if I don't know anything about it.
I did it. And it's...
You didn't?
It's really
okay.
good. Yeah.
Suzie, you will, because here's the thing, and I think especially, and I want to tell you guys a couple other things I watched during quarantine, because I do think that my quarantine viewing has kind of been colored by what's going on, but it's really, it draws you in, and there's no tension, there's nothing gonna jump out at you or freak you out, and it's kind of comforting to watch something that's just wholesome, but still funny. So
Okay.
I got to give kudos to the writers and actually a few familiar faces on the show from the comedy scene in town. So I think
Okay.
that it's being helmed by people who get comedy, but they don't. It's not canned laughter, but you can feel the humor kind of running through it. Then I think the cast is really killing it. The girls are hilarious and adorable.
Yeah.
And I, though, was a reader of Babysitter's Club when I was little and a big fan of the HBO series. Did you see that, Joe, when they had the Babysitter's Club, the first round? Okay, so I was worried for a different reason. I'm like, how can they top both of those things? And they totally have done it. So I'm loving that. I'm watching I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
I just watched it today.
The first episode or both?
Both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know how many there's going to be?
I think it's 6.
6.
6. Okay, yeah. Did you watch Unsolved Mysteries?
I haven't seen that yet.
That is so good.
My God, it is so good. It's so good. And Jamie, when you watch it, you have to, at the very end of the opening credits, Robert Stack's silhouette. So they pay homage.
Oh, that's
Mr.
nice.
Stack. Yeah, right?
That's very nice. Is that on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I like that. Unsolved Mysteries, I like that. I finished, I after never having watched it, I've watched 3 seasons of 90 Day Fiancé.
Oh my
I never watched a day of it. So I'm like, these guys are like, boy, 2001 is weird. Like, so I watched 3 seasons of that. And then this is one of the shows I watched that I wanted to tell you guys because I think it's interesting. When the pandemic first started, I watched 3 or 4 seasons of Survivor.
Oh
And
my
I think
God.
that was making me feel better. When I was at the beginning of the quarantine, I was a little more stir crazy than I am now, which is weird. And sadly, I think that's because I'm getting used to this.
Yeah, today it occurred to me that I don't remember what normal feels like.
Yeah.
And this week has been super hard. I don't know why. Today was really hard. Like, I just sent an email to my bosses like, can I take tomorrow off? Because I can't pretend to be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, and I keep saying this to people, I feel like when we do go back to normal, I think it'll be a huge adjustment that none of us are ready for.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because I
was
think,
thinking
you know,
that too.
everyone
How am
is
I gonna feel
so
normal. And like if I go to an audition, I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like getting near anyone for a
No.
while.
No.
And also just like I never was home, you guys. I was gone from morning till night.
right.
All the time. Like there was no stop. Like sometimes if I had a break, I would go to a movie or go to a coffee shop. But like a lot of days I was just boop, 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 boop. And I don't know what that's going to feel like.
Yeah. It's funny, we were watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills last night.
Also watch that. I am on that.
There was Sutton's little party at her
Mhm.
clothing store, and they had
Mhm.
all like the food all over the place, and people were just like, oh, salami. And I'm like, oh my God, it's only been 4 months, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to touch any of that.
Even movies that I've seen a million times, I'm like, they're too close. They really,
Yeah,
they're
just,
touching. Just, if you could just part a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going to be real paranoid.
I think it's going to be a long time. But you know, again, guys, you've called the right person on this day of this week, because my thought is we cannot control the future. We cannot control what's going on. All we can do is stay calm and in the moment. And as things progress, we take them as they come. And honestly, you both and myself, I will throw myself in this, we've been nailing it because we are still functioning. And, you know, everything is going to be okay. We are more resilient than we know. And I think, like, you sending that email was awesome. And I had a day last week where I was like, I'm not going to even do anything. I'm just going to relax today. And that day almost felt like a vacation day from the days when I'm like, I should be going through these boxes. So see, full circle, guys, full circle. Back to the boxes. I mean, look, though.
Love it.
Done. It's empty. But yes, Beverly Hills I watch.
And actually, I found myself watching it yesterday because, I have strong feelings about all those people. And I'm like, I actually am enjoying this. I'm enjoying them. Like, I liked all of them.
Except for Denise Richards.
Yeah, Denise.
What?
Twitter's a little on her side right now, you guys. Twitter's a little
serious?
on her side. I got into looking at the old.
Here's the thing.
Yesterday.
Here's because I think Brandy, I don't know if it's a lie. I don't know if the whole affair thing is a lie. It could have happened. I'm not saying that it did not happen, but I'm saying that she instigated it to get on the show.
Brandy?
Brandy.
Oh, yeah.
I don't trust Brandy as far as I could throw her.
Garbage person. Trash.
She's
Yeah.
got it. And she is a shit stirrer.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. And I liked her for the longest time. I was on her side.
Me too. When she first showed up, I was like, what a breath of fun, fresh air.
Mhm.
Me too. I'm like,
She was, but watching a repeat, she was very different.
When she
was
so different. She's had way too much work done.
Girl.
And she's only in her 40s.
Yeah.
Mhm. Her lips are, ooh.
Like too much filler or something.
Well, and I mean, Denise is a little batshit crazy too. So it's like
her husband.
Oh my God! All that electricity stuff and energy, and it's like, ugh.
He's crazy.
Yeah. But I also feel that these gals are really harping for. I mean, the thing about the Housewives franchise is there's so much we don't see, but they know that they need drama in order to get their contracts re-upped. They've watched other housewives fall by the wayside time and again. So when something happens, they freaking and I'm not even going to say exactly who. I'd say all of them. Like every housewife knows I need to jump on the drama so I can get the camera time, so I can keep it relevant, so I can keep the show going. And it's like they're not wrong in what they're saying about Denise. She is showing a double standard. This whole in front of my kids, she's being ridiculous. It's like she's trying to look for the camera, and that's the thing that they can't say. What they want to say on their interviews is she's trying to look good for the camera, but they're not allowed to say those words.
That's why I was always very mad with how they treated Lisa Vanderpump, because the things that they were accusing her of, 100% she did, but she did it as part of production. She was a producer.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so when she did those things, it was for the show. It was to propel stuff forward. And okay, you can be mad about that, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like, you know what she's doing, Kyle.
Yeah.
You're a producer as well. Right. But now you're going to throw her under the bus. Like, come on. Give me a break.
Ooh, yes.
Canadian Drag Race.
Oh my God, no! I totally forgot all about it.
Now, what channel is that on?
I'd
have only watched one season of RuPaul's
I have the WOW,
but it's just one.
The World of Wonder app.
Okay. Has there just been one or two episodes?
One.
Okay.
I will say this, no spoilers. U.S. drag is a lot more polished than Canadian drag.
Oh, that's how I feel about the London drag too. Did you watch UK?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you guys love RuPaul's Drag Race, I've noticed on my social media posts.
Oh, yeah.
And from previous viewings of Totes Talk.
Yeah.
I watched one season, weirdly, when I was in London for 2 weeks teaching. I was like, that's what I'm going to watch. And then I never watched it again. Should I just jump back in, and should I start at like 2 or?
You can jump back in, but there's a lot of times they'll bring people in and it helps to know who they are, or they'll reference certain things and it just helps to know. You're not anything, but I think it's cooler to start from 2 and see how it's changed.
Okay, I love that. And how many is there? Quite a few.
We just finished season 12.
Oh, that's not as many as I thought. So I've got 11.
And
that could be a fun one to throw in rotation.
You can season 7. Don't
skip it.
Yeah.
Who is that?
That was like Pearl and Miss Fame and Violet Chachki and
Oh, yeah.
that whole gang.
All skinny bitches. Skip it.
Well. Okay, that's good. This is good.
The
advice.
whitest, skinniest season you've ever seen.
I'm not going to write this down. I got to keep a list. I've also kept this list of movies I've seen during quarantine.
What have you seen?
All right, I'll just run down the list really fast. Okay, but I'll have to give you a quick caveat. Some of these I watched because I signed up for IFC for 1 month, and I was like, I got to get some major movies in.
Gotta get your money's worth.
Yeah, so none of and I've also watched a ton of movies I've already seen many times, because I also find great comfort in watching, like, Castaway. I've watched Castaway twice during this.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Castaway, either of you?
No.
The idea of a movie with just one person the entire time, the idea of it makes me anxious.
Yeah, I get that, and I'm going to tell you, though, they handle their business. And I
Yeah.
know you think, oh, she's talking about Wilson. But I'm telling you, that movie is the least naked and afraid kind of movie in the world. I mean, if I had to, I would give it a high mark recommendation along with a icing of let me know if you watch it.
All right. I'm going to add it to my list.
All right, here we go. Y tu mama también.
Oh, my God.
It was amazing. I'd never seen it.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
It was wonderful.
Yeah.
It was absolutely wonderful.
We've
Very
seen it.
funny and heartbreaking.
So
Okay.
deep down in my soul.
Babadook.
Oh, my God. I
No.
loved it.
Yeah, that was really scary and weird.
I loved it so much.
I loved it. Really funny, too. The kid was,
So great. She was great.
oh, yeah.
But I love how it's just not a horror movie. It's about so many more things.
That's
than that.
right.
Gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Well, get IFC for a month. You can watch all of these. Hell or High Water.
Oh, that Chris Pine?
Yes.
The Robbie, Bank Robbie?
Uh-huh. Bank robbing. Very good. And I am not, again, a huge fan of anything Western. Is not.
Oh,
my
no.
jam.
Too brown. Everything's too sand and
Oh, and this
brown
is
and taupe.
this is very Sedona Brown. Portrait of a Woman on Fire.
Oh,
Chef's
good.
Kiss. Chef's Kiss.
All right.
Near, I dare say, flawless. A+.
Oh.
These are so far too highbrow for me. So
Again, Susie, I am a lowbrow, but these are not highbrow. They're just they seem that way. 2 Days, One Night. Perhaps the best film on my list.
Oh, who is that?
Marion Cotillard.
Oh,
Cotillard. Cotillard.
Marianne
Cotillard. Ramosh.
This movie is stunning.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
I'm
My
not writing
sis-
any of these down.
I'm going to email them all to you and be like, did you watch it? My Sister's Sister.
Yes. What was it?
Is that with Rosie O'Donnell?
That is the other sister.
Riding the bus with my sister.
Oh, that's right.
The other one is Juliette Lewis.
Oh my God, we are fools. What's the other one like that? A Dangerous Sister.
Oh, so many sisters.
Why do you have so many sisters?
What's the one with Deborah Winger and
Terms of
Deborah Winger?
endearment. Deborah Winger and Deborah Winger? Wait, Beaches?
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's
Black Widow?
Barbara Hershey. Wait.
Yes! Deborah
Black
Winger
Widow?
and Barbara Hershey and Gabriel Bryan. Gabriel Bryan. Someone look it up, please.
We don't have...
It's Deborah Winger and Barbara Hershey?
I think it is.
Okay.
Susie, I think you are correct.
I wasn't saying them together. I was saying them as I was confusing
All right,
one
I'm
for the
going to
other.
look it up. I'm going to look it up.
I got
guys.
it. Keep
Okay,
going.
good. Okay. My Sister's Sister is a movie with Emily Blunt. Again, Susie, I'm telling you, this is IFC.
Why were we talking about Deborah Winger?
Because she's in the one with Deborah Winger and Barbara Hershey called Dangerous Sister.
A dangerous woman.
A dangerous woman. And they play sisters.
And then Rosie O'Donnell and Juliette Lewis come in on a bus.
Yep, they come in on a bus and then they say olive juice instead of I love you. Okay, My Sister's Sister, which is a movie by Lynn Shelton, who is this amazing director who just passed away. And a friend of mine said, you have to watch that movie of hers. And it is excellent.
Have you seen, I got to interrupt Lynn Shelton, did you see Hump Day?
No.
Oh my God.
That should be, I'm putting it on my list.
So good.
All right, Hump Day and Drag Race minus season 7. Okay, I'll just give you a couple more highlights here. 45 years.
Oh, how is that?
My life?
How I feel.
Terrible.
How I feel since January.
The 30s and just get rid of them.
And I'll end it with a very weird movie that I saw on IFC called Daddy Longlegs, which was a movie from the, oh God, you try to sound like you know shit and then you can't pronounce people's names. The Sufi brothers, the Sufi guys that did
Sufi Sales?
Gems, the Sufi Sales brothers.
Sufi Sales brothers.
And this movie was super weird. It's about a single dad and his kids are staying with him for a couple weeks. It's dark comedy. So those were my IFC movies that I watched since
Okay.
this. Oh, and I watched Hamilton, of course.
Okay.
Can we talk about it?
Nice segue.
YouTube channel.
Oh,
Oh, I can talk about something.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
oh I thought he was gonna go. Excuse me.
Bye. I did not jump on the bandwagon when Hamilton came out, much like Joe. I tried to listen to it and I wasn't moved, but seeing it on stage changed that. I love it. I love
Okay.
King George.
Can I say now, along with that, I too had never heard. I actually am lesser than Susie. I had never even heard the soundtrack. I knew not going to throw away my shot.
Right.
I knew that from parodies and from commercials. I was not interested in spending that money on a ticket, and I also thought that it was weird that so many people were, and so I wasn't skeptical, but I just wasn't interested.
Right. Same.
I watched it twice in 2 days.
Wow.
I will say this.
Loved it.
There are long stretches where it's boring to me because I'm not a history person. But I like watching the blocking and stuff.
Okay, I'm going to veer away from you there and say I did not find it boring, but I also am not a huge history buff, and that's why I think I found it compelling. I basically feel like I could learn anything if Lin-Manuel, like if he was like, you guys need to know the story of Philip Tiddleston, who created the hammer, and I'd be like, I don't want to hear that story. But if he wrote it, I would be like, guys, Tiddleston is the man, baby. He was married. He grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, with a population of only 7,000 people. Well, no one leaves Bethesda, but Tiddleston did. Like, I would be able to tell you. That's why I liked it. I was like, they staged it beautifully, and I could see why in 2016 it was the phenomenon it was, because again, they're trying to also show casting can be way more open than what people think.
Yeah.
And you guys do that at the Ringwald all the time. And it's like, I think that's a big point of that production. I mean, he's said as much. He's like, I wanted to show that anyone can be cast as anything, and I never once was like, why aren't these being played by white people? I don't believe any of this. I just found it to be a great reimagining of a story.
And for Lily watching it too, she was like, who are those girls? Oh, they're sisters. Oh, they're all different colors. And I said, well, they cast people who were best for the part as opposed to what they look like in real life. She's like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. And then she saw George Washington. She's like, well, I'm glad that they cast who is best because he was amazing and she loved him.
See, and then you just like taught her something. Now it's just like a thing they can learn when they're young and they can go forward and just know that that's a possibility.
Yeah. But the real masterpiece that no one's talking about is the Muppet version of Hamilton. You can hear the whole first act sung by Muppets. So
Where?
check
How?
out.
Where?
Peter put it on my page, so you can scour my Facebook
Put it on
page.
my page.
And Camilla, the chicken, is Angelica Houston. Nope.
Houston.
Skylar.
Hey, speaking of Angelica Houston, though, did I not just see on a Netflix ad that The Witches has come to Netflix?
Oh, is it?
I will be checking because I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Witches?
Yes,
I love
obviously. The
I
other
love
thing
that.
that I watched today was Halloween. The 2018.
That. My God, this needs to be called Fact Check the Podcast.
You watched Halloween? What?
Yeah,
How?
that's a great.
Because no, not the new one, the 2018 version.
Right. But you don't do
It's-
scary. Do you?
No, I do. Pete
Oh.
doesn't. I do.
Okay.
But see,
a
I
great
don't
movie to
because
watch
he
If
doesn't.
you're feeling depressed, it's like, let me watch. But that's my mom. My mom has told me this so many times. It's like, if you're having a hard time, go and watch a really depressing movie, and you'll be like, or something scary, or just like something that's
Murder.
yeah, murder, just unabashed.
Love
murder.
mysteries. Murder.
I like that Halloween.
Me too.
It's good.
Now, Joe, can I pimp you into reading the description of the dangerous sister? I mean, the dangerous woman.
Dangerous woman.
You guys got to hear this. This is insane.
Well, we now have to also write a movie called The Dangerous Sisters.
And
A
Suzie, we can play
Dangerous
this.
Woman from 1993.
Oh.
Martha Horgan, Deborah Winger, is a withdrawn, mentally disabled woman who lives with her Aunt Frances, Barbara Hershey. One of Martha's unusual traits is that she doesn't lie, a quality that leads to her getting fired from a dry cleaning shop thanks to the actions of the shifty Getzo, David Strathairn. Conflict seems to follow Martha since she also becomes romantically involved with the local fix-it man, Mackie, Gabriel Byrne, who is sleeping with Frances as well.
They're not sisters?
No, they're aunt and niece, apparently.
Ooh.
You're the one who keeps making them sisters.
The sister is not in the title.
The sister is in the title.
No, it's just a dangerous woman.
Dangerous niece.
Suzie, you're the one who said Deborah Winger out of nowhere, though.
Because I was confusing Deborah Winger and Barbara Hershey.
And
Is
I
the same
let you
person.
do that, and then I wait a minute, and isn't her aunt played by Barbara Hershey?
Yeah.
So, Suzie, this is a movie with Deborah Winger and Barbara Hershey.
Two
Oh,
separate.
I didn't tell you guys I wrote it. I forgot to let you know.
Yeah, in 93, you were like 16 years old. You were like, I've got an idea.
Oh, God bless you. I was 18, but that's okay.
There's a big difference.
Okay, so put that on your list. I got one more to say, and then that's going to be it for me and my list. I'm sure there's some stuff I missed, but this is my last series, and it was my number one.
Oh, what?
Normal People on Hulu.
Oh, really?
It was my number one, but it's brutal. Brutal.
No, I haven't watched it. I read the book, which I did not like the book.
Oh.
So I've been
I don't
putting
know.
off the series, but
It was
So
my
what is it
number one.
about?
The acting, Joe and Suzie, I've never seen anything like it.
Okay.
It's heart-wrenching. It's about these kids who meet in go to the same high school in Ireland, and
Okay.
she's a kind of outcast misfit, and he's a popular guy but quiet.
Okay.
And they have a very odd and dysfunctional kind of love affair, and it goes a little later in their years to when they go to college, and all these things happen to both of them, and it is absolutely heart-wrenching. I turned Mary Beth onto it, and she sent me a picture of her and dissolved in tears, and she's like, "Why did you do this to me?" It's
all right,
really good.
I'll give it a whirl.
Please, I gotta call it my number one, but again, not feel good, not.
Okay. And it's young people.
No, they get out. It starts with them as like juniors or seniors in high school, and then they go a little older. It's fabulous, Susie.
Okay.
The acting. I never see anything like those two.
Okay.
All right, I'll give it a whirl.
Yeah, that's my number one. But who can you trust? Listen to what I've watched and what that and 90 Day Fiance. So where's the rhyme and the reason?
The ridiculous and the sublime.
That's right. Beautiful.
I need to switch gears here for a moment because we have an email.
Oh, all right.
So it says, "Hey, Totes Talk," which, if you want to write to us, is our email address.
At Gmail?
Yeah.
Hey, Totes Talk at Gmail.
Hey, Totes Talk, because Totes Talk was already taken.
Yeah.
Hey,
Talk.
like, hey.
Hey, Totes
Hey.
Talk. Oh, and that's fun. Hey, Totes Talk. Hey,
Yeah.
Totes Talk. I got something to say. Okay, hey, Totes Talk at Gmail.
What a delight Drew Hall is. Drew Hall was on our Pride episode. We commissioned him to do window displays for us at the Ringwald.
I saw those pictures. Yes.
Pride and Black Lives Matter. And he came on the show after he was finished. When you were talking to him about set design, I wondered which show has the best set you have ever seen. Personally, the first time I saw Les Mis in London in 1988, well, la-di-da, I thought the set was ingenious. I was also distracted by it. But enough about me. Answer, please. Signed, your biggest fan.
Well, thank you, Gretchen.
Best set. We get these questions and that makes me think, it's like, I need time to think about this.
Yeah, I have a few things that have popped into my mind.
What?
Well, I would say Kentucky Cycle at the Hillberry was pretty awesome. The Diviners at the Attic Theater when I was growing up was pretty amazing. The Business as Unusual at Planet Ant, Tommy Leroy designed this most amazing set, and there was an elevator in it, and there was he made a giant puppet foot break into the elevator. And I also believe there were pyrotechnics in that show.
What was the one in the forest?
At the Maureen Hayden movie. They wanted it to be like an M. Night Shyamalan, so that it was like N. Maureen Hayden presents. N. Maureen Hayden presents.
Peter. What was the show at the Ant? Nancy wrote it. It was in a forest.
And it was
Something in the Woods. Something in the Woods, or like we're missing a wood. Missing a word in the woods.
Missing a word in the woods.
Yeah.
I think the Book of Liz, Joe.
Oh.
Yes, that is the set that I would have to say that too, because that's the only set that I like. Out of nowhere, it'll just pop into my head.
Yeah, that was pretty ingenious.
So fun. All the one-dimensional props.
Yeah. I also, when you said that, Jamie, made me remember Lips Together, Teeth Apart at the Attic.
Which had an actual swimming pool.
Yep.
That is a great one, Joe. Yes, that was a great set. And my friend Julie Sullivan, her parents loaned my mom their patio furniture for that show as well. So Suzie, at the edge of the stage, they built what looks like the edge of a pool, because at the end, he puts his head in the pool, right?
Yeah.
And it looked so cool. I mean, the attic sets were always bomb. Like, I don't know how they did it with the meager funds, but I'm trying to think about, like, big shows at Pantages or at Fisher that had sets that were... The set for Once is really pretty.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I know my answer. I already know my answer.
What?
It's A View from a Bridge, the London production that I got to see at Kennedy Center, where it rains down blood. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
It rains down blood at the end all over them and everything. It's the most visceral, unbelievable thing you've ever... And then they sit the audience on the stage, too. A portion of them. I didn't get to sit on the stage, but I got to sit in the second row. Really cool set.
That two popped in my head from that. One, when I saw 3 Days of Rain on Broadway with Julia Roberts and Paul Rudd and Bradley Cooper, and it rains on stage like a torrential downpour, which I'm such a sucker for.
Yeah.
But then also on Broadway, a production of Elektra which the whole stage was covered in dirt. And there's a big concrete slab in the middle of the stage, and there was water that drips down on it through the whole show. And then at the end, that water turns to blood.
Oh, wow.
Which I had forgotten about until you just said that.
Ooh, very, very spicy for Elektra.
I love a good set.
Yeah, I do too. I think that, like, it's fine to go minimal, but I like when people do clever things, you know?
Clever is good.
Yeah, you guys had, what was the one that's, oh, now I'm going to look like an idiot, but what's that one with the druggies and it's the movie?
Mercury Fur.
Nope.
Train spotting?
Yes! I like your staging of that and the dirty, nasty mattress. It's like little things like a dirty, nasty mattress go a long way when you're trying to convey some shit, you know?
Yeah, that is good. Well, I think we're about at the end of our time.
I demand it not be so!
Well, you know what? We're going to have you come back sometime.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would come back anytime, and I would talk to you guys every day if I could. This has been delightful.
Well, right back at you.
Did we take our minds off of it?
Yeah, it's been.
I know I did.
It's definitely the highlight of the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are
Jaime
doing
Moyer.
this. I love you. I'm
Love you.
so glad you guys are doing it. Totes.
And we'll see you all soon. We'll see you all next week, and we love you all.
Bye.